Hello everyone, welcome back to VoIP Knowledge. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use L3 switch and use as a DHCP server and give the internet to the connected devices. So I have router and there is no other network VLAN and I have Grandstream L3 switch GWN 7811P. Here I'm going to add two VLANs 10 and 20. So two VLANs are added here. Now we will create VLAN interface for these VLAN ID. So we are adding VLAN 10 and give the IP address on this interface. So setting the VLAN ID 10 and giving the IP address 192.168.10.1 and setting the subnet mask. Now adding one more VLAN interface and setting the VLAN ID 20 and setting the IP address 192.168.20.1. Now setting the subnet mask 24. So we have created two VLANs interface and now enabling DHCP services. Now adding DHCP pool for these interfaces. So giving VLAN 10 DHCP name and selecting type as interface and selecting interface VLAN 10. Now giving IP address range for DHCP clients and entering the DNS server and saving the changes. Now adding one more VLAN interface DHCP pool for 20 and selecting type as interface and interface VLAN 20. Now entering the IP address for DHCP clients. So I'm giving a pool of 100 IPs and setting the DNS server. Now saving. Now going into the VLAN option and port setting, selecting 1 and 2 as access and PVID 10. So these port will give the IP address of VLAN 10 from the switch and selecting port number 3 and 4 and setting as access port and PVID 20. So these ports will give the IP address from 20 VLAN range. So you can see port number 1 and 2 are untagged in VLAN 10 and port number 3 and 4 are untagged in VLAN 20 and tagged port are 7. Now saving. So we have added two VLAN and the default IP address of this switch from the router is, so we are copying it and adding a static route with this IP address so that these VLAN can access on internet and can reach towards all the destinations. So creating a VLAN 10 traffic and enabling it and entering the IP address of VLAN 10 192.168.10.0 and entering the subnet mask and selecting the interface as default VLAN and setting the next hop as the switch IP address received from router via VLAN 1 and saving. Now adding one more VLAN 10 VLAN 20 traffic rule and enabling it and entering the IP address of VLAN 20 192.168.20.0 and setting the subnet mask and selecting outgoing interface WAN, default VLAN, and entering the switch IP address in next hop. So we set IP address. So the configuration is done in switch and router level. Now we will verify by connecting system on port number 1 for VLAN 10. So I'm connecting system on port number 1 and it is identifying for IP address. So let's wait for identification and it takes some seconds. So now system has detected the IP address and we can verify the IP address. So you can see 10 series of IP is received on the system and we can access switch and we can check that port 1 is occupied with system. Similarly, we can verify ARP table and you can see VLAN 10 IP received on port number 1, 10 series IP, and we are able to access the internet from here. So we are able to access everything on the website. And now I'm going to open my YouTube channel. So you can see we are able to access internet. Now I'm going to connect my system on port number 3 and removing from port number 1. So it is now connected and identifying for the IP address. Same like before, it is taking some seconds to identify and get the IP address from switch. So we will wait. So now it takes the IP from switch and we can verify that we have 20 series IP address from the switch. Now we will verify from ARP table. So we receive 20 series IP address on port number 3 from VLAN 20. And similarly, we are able to get internet in this VLAN as well from the switch. So same way you can create configuration and do like this. So you can be able to access the internet and create DHCP on the switch side. So this is only possible in L3 switch. So what we have to do, we have created just two VLANs and assign the port on particular VLANs. So these ports are untagged and we set the port as access and set the PVID. Suppose then we have enable VLAN interface and added two VLAN interface with IP address of particular VLAN range. Then we enabled DHCP services and created DHCP pool for this interface. And after that, we created static route for this, so client can get the internet. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe the channel.